Well, hey everybody, welcome back to another week with Hub City Church. I'm Justin, the lead pastor here, and this week I am so excited to have this lady right here. This is my wife, Krista.
Hey guys, one of the things you'll hear a lot at Hub City Church is a statement of the culture of honor, that we believe the best about people, we speak the best about people, and we leave people better than we found them. Over the last 5 or 6 weeks though, you may have noticed it's a little more difficult to leave people better than you found them. Because sometimes it's easy to get into a habit of leaving people feeling drained. And I know that you've talked to those people that have left you that way.
Hey, so this week we want to talk about 3 ways that you'll know that you're leaving the people around you feeling a little drained.
Number 1, you're a critic.
So let me be really honest right here. This is probably the bad attitude that I struggle with the most. By nature, I tend to be a little more cynical, a little bit more pessimistic. And so if I'm not staying on top of my prayer time and staying in the Word and staying and spending time with Jesus, I'll slip back into this probably less than desirable person to be around. I drain the people that I'm around. There are times when being critical can be beneficial. It can help solve potential problems and look for maybe the underlying causes of issues. But usually these times are the exception and not necessarily the rule. I find that if I'm living in a spot where I don't know the difference between the times that I should affirm people or be critical or whether or not my criticism will even be well received, I probably need to harness that back some and pull the reins on that just a little bit, because it's easy to overuse that tool and become someone that always finds fault in whatever someone's doing.
Number 2, you're a comparer. This is probably the one that I struggle with the most. Comparison is where I fall when I'm not in a close relationship with Christ, daily finding my identity in who He is and who He's made me to be. Comparison is evil. Because if you're comparing yourself to someone else, you're either tearing someone down so that you feel better about what's happening, or you're tearing yourself down and lifting someone else up to be better than you are. Now, this is super easy in quarantine or even in everyday life to see someone else and to see the end result kind of where they are and comparing the middle of your story where you're sitting with their ending, and they're not even apples to apples. Or scrolling through social media and you see this Instagram picture of a life that's perfect, thinking that that person's life is that way all the time and you fall short. Well, I had a really good friend of mine tell me one time that Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and things like that are basically like the tabloids or just the highlight reel for someone's life. And I have to internalize that in a time when I'm just sitting looking at that. And I'm being very transparent. There have been days in this quarantine that I've told Justin, like, I can't do my phone today. Yeah. If you need me, come find me or call me and I'll hear it ring. Like, I can't look at everything else right now just because of where I am mentally. And I know that's a boundary that I have to set for myself because I battle with that comparison. But trusting in the Lord, finding my identity and who He is, knowing that He made me to be enough it's a pretty good solution to get your way out of this and not to pull other people down. Because if you're comparing yourself, talking with other people, they don't want to be around someone who is pulling themselves down or others. Number 3, you're a complainer.
So here's the deal with complaining. It's not usually even as much of an attitude problem as it is a habit. It is so easy to slip into, and it's easy to make conversation about things that we're complaining about.
Absolutely.
And I find also that a lot of people will make conversation on what gets the biggest response rather than the best response. And that's easy with complaining because everyone can find something to gripe about. So complaining is actually a product of misplaced focus. It is choosing to focus on what we lack rather than what we have. And I don't know if you figured this out or not, but as long as you're concentrating on what you don't have, you're never going to be satisfied. When we focus on what we actually do have, gratitude happens, thankfulness happens, contentment can happen when we understand that what we've got right now in the season that we're in is enough.
So maybe you see yourself a little bit in these things. What do you do now? We have found that the opposite of criticism, comparison, and complaining come from an overflow of the work of the Spirit in your lives.
Right.
The Bible says in Philippians 4:8, "Dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise."
Yeah, so when we spend time in God's presence, not complaining, not being critical, not always comparing ourselves to everyone else and all the people in our lives, comparing them with someone else. When I spend time with Jesus, just with quiet contentment, the overflow of that time spent with Him radiates out into my life and into my relationships and the people I'm around, and that is somebody you'd like to be around. So guys, until next week, we love you, Hub City family. We can't wait to see you in person. And until then, don't forget, speak the best, believe the best, and leave somebody better than you found them. See you next week.